Great.
All right, how you doing, Miss Freeman?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So first of all, I really appreciate you taking the time out to speak to me. So I just want to start it off by you telling the people who don't know who you are, and a bit about what's going on right now.
Well, my name is Christina Freeman, and I'm running for mayor of Jersey City. I'm a lifelong resident here. I'm a student at NJCU. I study sociology. I've been a police officer for 6 years, and I am a mother. And I'm running because, most of the candidates that are out here, they weren't talking about the real issues that the city is facing. And of course, when I grace, the stage, that's when everybody wants to be up to speed with everything, which is great. That means that I'm influential in what it is that I'm bringing to the table. I'm from the people. I grew up on the Greenville side of Jersey City. I actually grew up on Dwight Street. You probably see my signs out that way, but I've been amongst the people for a very long time, so it's nothing new to me. I understand what's going on out here, so I'm ready to step up and be the mayor of this great city.
All right. Well, first of all, I do see your signs out here. I definitely do see your signs out here. So, one of the things I want to first start with is crime. You know, you would be my fourth mayoral candidate interview,
Right.
and I asked you all some very similar questions, but I want to start with this one with you. The city lies about crime statistics. As I said in other interviews, this way they can make the city seem more safer than what it is. And Stephen Fulop could put that smile on his face that he does and tell residents, oh, come in, it's all safe. And he could keep the money flowing.
Right.
If you were to get in that position, would you remain honest with the actual numbers of homicides, rape victims? Because Jersey City in the politic world is a very dirty game right now. What they're doing, even on death certificates, is lying on the cause of death so they don't have to put it down and say, hey, the city got 5% safer this year on homicide. We went down 10%. What is your stance on that? And how are you going to be transparent with those numbers and the residents of the city?
Honesty is the best policy, from my understanding that the city is supposed to publish the true numbers. There's a lot of things that the city is supposed to do that they have not done, or they have pretty much swept it under the rug because they want a certain demographic to flood the area. So one thing that I am committed to is being fully transparent and honest about what it is. Now, my reservation on some of these things in terms of the violence, anybody who's following what's going on in the media, well, in the news right now with Trump sending in National Guards to quote unquote violent cities, this is what I don't want to do. So I would have to find a healthy balance between the two to where our residents are aware of what exactly is going on in the city and not hide it. How do we fix a problem if we're constantly lying about it, or just, oh no, that didn't happen, or it didn't happen that way? Like, trust me, the same way that is going on with the crime rates, they've been hiding, or they have not been publishing the suicide rates within the police department as well. So it's an issue, and I'm willing to tackle it head on and be transparent, to be available to the people, to have these real hard conversations, because we have to get to the root cause of why we're a violent city.
Exactly. So, another question I have for you, and I didn't plan to ask you this, it just came into mind.
Mhm.
So, when I seen you on the board as one of the mayoral candidates, I couldn't wait to see you speak. I've never seen you speak before. So I watched you debate, I believe Solomon was there, Musa Ali, and Bill Odia, and yourself. And you said something about tolls.
Yes.
I seen what you said, but you did say I'm gonna speak more on that. You just mentioned it. I
Yeah.
said, "Oh my God, what is she doing? What is she
So,
talking about?" I said, "What is she talking about?" Then I waited, and you spoke more on it,
right.
and I listened. This is why people have to listen. So
Yeah.
please speak about that a little bit.
So I'm really excited about this idea. As you know, that the city is in a deficit, the working taxpayers and business owners are like at their capacity. Some say the numbers are 43, some say it's almost 50%. Whatever the number is, I think it's more on the 42 percentile. It's too much. So with that being stated, with the forthcoming years, we have to make sure that we're balancing the budget. So but we still need services. So who's going to pay for those services? We have over 100,000 vehicles that are traveling through Jersey City daily, daily. Even if we were to recoup some of that money, even if it's $1, that's more than enough money to cover infrastructure projects, safety projects, support these organizations that are out here that are trying to help the youth. We can use that money for a lot of different things, and it wouldn't take even if we were to take bonded for that amount to set them up, because I already did like where I would station them. And the better part about it is that the Jersey City residents will not be taxed for riding in and out of Jersey City. I will probably even put in something to where Bayonne doesn't get taxed. So if you're in Bayonne, you're riding through Jersey City. All right, cool. It's the people that's coming in from, Monmouth, Tom's River, and everywhere else that's passing through our city to either get into Manhattan, or they're parking their vehicles here and they're leaving their vehicles here and they're taking up parking from our residents that's causing all the issues that we're having. So my idea behind this toll system is because we can regulate a lot if we can get to the core issue that's going on here in Jersey City, which is the congestion, right? So with that, why not a toll system that can actually reduce that congestion, and in return we can recoup some of that money and we can use that money towards different projects, and then we can get into like overnight parking, because a lot of these vehicles that are parked here overnight, they're not they're either living out of town or they're registered to somewhere else. So guess what's going to happen to them when they're riding in Jersey City? They're going to get dinged. You get me? So it's like
Yeah.
one of these things, like my brainchild. Like I have like all these wonderful ideas, and I think about like how do I get to like one solution that can solve many problems? And I really feel like this toll system is something that can solve a lot of the issues that we're experiencing with the overcrowding and the density and the parking issues and the just the terrible driving behaviors that are going on. And a lot of times it's not people that are from Jersey City that are driving like this, because we live here, we love
Yeah.
our city, we try to take care of ourselves. So it's just like, how do we get them? You get them in the pockets. That's how. So this is where the whole system came into play.
Yeah, I love that idea. By the way, that's why I waited and listened to what you said. I said, "Hold on, wait a
Thank
minute,
you.
wait a
I'm
minute."
glad you
Okay,
brought that up. I don't get to speak on it a lot because,
yeah,
sometimes like I try to like wedge it in there somehow,
yeah.
but thank you for bringing that up.
Okay. Another thing I want to speak about. I know you're pretty familiar with it because you're from the South Side.
Right.
We know the whole Stephen Fool Up administration. I mean, I'm gonna flat out say it. Uh, I'm a blunt guy. I could say it. I don't know how you feel. He don't care about black people. They don't care about black people. It's all right. It's the truth. They don't care about no minority. It's the truth. Especially the south side of town. He's completely. He doesn't want to be associated with nobody or nothing out here. It's the truth. It's all right. We know it. So this is one of the biggest problems that a lot of residents have. The streets out here is disgusting. There's potholes, there's cracks. It is not drivable. It is not drivable. I see a lot of the mayoral candidates, a part of their campaign is a safer Jersey City, and they're really focusing on street safety. Maybe one of the biggest focuses and something that needs to be a part of the conversation is the roads. How are you talking about bringing in money for all these cameras and speed bumps? Are you going to slap speed bumps on roads that's already undrivable? You want to talk about car accidents? Do you know how many cars get into car accidents because they stop not trying to hurt their vehicle and get rear-ended? When they have people who come from out of town, they pander to everybody except the people who are a part of the city. I've seen them pander to a marathon, the marathon runners. I've seen the city get the workers out here, get the funding, and get the money, and fix the streets in 24 hours for people who are not a part of this city and left the streets messed up for us for years. What are your thoughts on that? What are your plans on that? Please.
One, I know this very well in terms of his personal feelings or, objectives about, I think he can do a lot better in terms of how he includes everyone within this city, because he's not from here, so the least you can do is patronize the people who are natives of this city. So I'm just going to touch that. That's the most I can say about it because, that's who signs my checks, so
Yeah.
it's just like, gotta keep it cute. But in terms of, taking care of the people, my whole platform is people-based, community-based, native-based, those who made Jersey City into their home, allowing them to integrate because I've been hearing a lot of talk around like different subjects and they're like, yeah, they don't want that. I'm like, it's about integrating, you don't just come into a space and just be like, oh, this is my space now and this is how it goes. So my first priority as mayor is Jersey City first. Jersey City first. And not just downtown Jersey City. My main focus coming in office is going to be Greenville. I've been very vocal about it. I've been very upfront about it just because I come from the Greenville section. And unfortunately, there hasn't been a whole lot of changes since leaving the Greenville section. I'm 37 years old. I have a 4-year-old son. My son has to be raised here. I want him to be able to navigate through this city without running into safety issues. When he starts driving, I don't want him to be worried about the potholes or stopping short, or you got people who don't know how to drive within the city because they're used to open roads. So it's like Greenville is my priority. Potholes are important because they mess up my car too on these roadways. So in terms of getting the money, finding the money, I'm a realistic person when it comes down to something. If it's something that can't be done right now, I would be like, well, this isn't something we can do right now, but we're gonna get it done. It's never gonna be oh no, we could find the money. You know, they we find the money for everything else. We could find the money to make sure that the streets are safe, and to where we're not pandering to a certain group of people or demographics that move into Jersey City and don't integrate into Jersey City. Don't get me wrong. I love some of the changes that have happened here. However, I do not like that the south side of Jersey City has been extremely neglected to the point where people are being forced out because of the cost of everything or just because of the lack of services. Like, we're hardworking people. I've worked 2 jobs since I was 16 years old. So, like, nothing changed. I still got, like, little hobbies along the way. So it's just like, it's not that we're not deserving. We're deserving of a quality of life. That's all we can ask for. So, as mayor, that's one of my objectives is getting Jersey City back on track, community, safety, and just having an even flow throughout the city so where the resources are are even. It may not be necessarily the same because what's what needs of one community is not the needs of the other community. So we're not going to trump one community needs over the others. We're going to see what's needed, what's priority, and I'm going to make sure that that's distributed accordingly.
Another thing I really want to touch on is affordable housing. So, affordable housing is a very, very big issue in Jersey City. So we see a lot of infrastructure coming to Jersey City with a very, very low percentage of affordable housing. And the prices are not affordable. So even with that, we have something called a lottery. We all know the lottery. The lottery is completely rigged, and we see that whoever has any type of relation to the project is giving those lottery out to family members, friends, partners. What are your thoughts on that situation, and do you have some type of solutions for it to be actually affordable for families and a fair shot at the lottery?
Well, all right. So affordable is determined by the state, and that is determined by of the median income of the city. Okay. That number comes from the census. The numbers that we're seeing in terms of what's affordable here in Jersey City is skewed. For the simple fact is, a lot of people were not included, meaning like people who just didn't understand how the census work and that it's not something to cut off your benefits or something to like just stop you from or notifying anyone that you know what's going on. So you have people who did not do it. And right now, Jersey City is affluent. So with that, we do not receive as much funding from the state as we should be receiving, considering we have a tale of two cities going on. Now, when it comes down to my idea on housing and making it affordable in the sense of income based or income capped, because again, I'm a renter. I don't make 20, I can't pay $2,200 for a one bedroom. I'm in a one bedroom right now as we speak. You know, I can't pay $2,200 a month. I'm not paying $2,200 a month. Thankfully, I have a really good landlord to where I pay a reasonable amount for my rent, but that's not everybody's story. So with that being stated, we can create housing as a city that is income based, and we can pilot this project based off of open city lots to where we can collaborate with organizations to where again we're not tapping into money that we don't have, we're just using resources that are around us to get these projects done. So you have Habitat of Humanity. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but they're a nonprofit organization and they're geared towards housing, and they help with just building different projects in housing just for people, whether it's working people, homeless people, you know, single parent household, you know, so that they can have somewhere stable to live. So that's one of my ideas. Another one of my ideas is called the Freeman Legacy Housing, and it's for Jersey City residents and also returning Jersey City residents, because I want some of the people who used to live here to return back here. And that's just taking some of the city properties that we have in terms of housing and selling them back to the community. Because if the city can sell land to the developers for $10, I could sell houses to the residents and the lifelong people here of Jersey City for $1. And guess what? There's programs out there to remodel these houses. Another program as well is NACA. NACA is a program, first time home buyers program that is meant for blacks and minorities to be able to purchase homes, and they'll help you with the down payment, closing costs, and whatever else that's needed to get you into the home. I'm more than happy to collaborate with these organizations so that we can make sure that people have affordable housings to where they can be stable and they can make Jersey City their lifelong home and not be pushed out by the developers. In terms of the lottery, now with the lottery, I would recommend um, there would have to be a board. I would create a community board that oversees who's on that lottery, where are they coming from? You know, again, my model is Jersey City first. If I got somebody on there and they're like, oh, yeah, they only been here 6 months. Oh, no, you don't qualify.
Yeah.
You don't qualify. You know, it doesn't make sense. I want real Jersey City people to be on this list. So I don't know whether I would make it something 2 years, 5 years. I have to see what's reasonable, because I get that some people may have had to be pushed out of the city because they may have faced homelessness at one point that caused them to move to Newark because they have the resources over there. And then once they got back stable, they came back to Jersey City. You know, so it's just like I would have to figure out how to streamline that process just to make sure that these lotteries are going to Jersey City residents and not somebody who has somebody's name at their auntie house that their auntie don't even live at that house. They rent that house out and say, "Oh no, they've been here for 2 years." And it's just like, yeah, no, I don't know if I got to come up with a pop quiz, like pop quiz.
I love that. So, are you somebody who is very involved with the street safety as far as how the vehicles are driving? It's just a quick question.
If I'm with how be like,
I seem like a lot of the mayoral candidates are talking about creating enforcements and really
well,
attacking the e-bikes
I
and the vehicles.
I am again like you can't over police the people. You get me? I try to be very reasonable in my ideas and how to help the city just to be a better quality life of everyone. You know, as far as some of the safety features that are currently out here, I'm not opposed to them. However, they have to make sense. I just had a senior, one of my seniors called me the other day and she was upset because like the cones that they put out, the safety cones was blocking from her medical van getting close enough to the curb for her to get on. So I had to make arrangements to where we got signs put up for her so that she didn't have to come in on that particular side so that her van can actually get to the curb for her to get on and get to her dialysis appointments. So I'm for regulating um the people in terms of their driving habits because again a lot of the terrible drivings or the aggressive drivers that are out here are not from Jersey City. They're usually from somewhere else because they're trying to get to somewhere fast and that's what's causing a lot of the issues. I am for a traffic division here in Jersey City to just make sure that people aren't doing heinous things. I am for the reducing the speed limit in the residential in the school areas just because they go too doggone fast. They're doing like 40 miles per hour while going through a school area. That's wild to me. You know, even in some of the high residential areas, as a kid, I don't even feel comfortable with my kid walking on a sidewalk. Like I literally hold my kid's hand on the inside and I'm looking to make sure it's nothing that could potentially come, could jump the curve or even if we're trying to cross the street. I shouldn't be feeling like the velocity of the vehicle passing by me because that vehicle's going nowhere fast. So yeah, absolutely. I'm for enforcing the traffic laws out here in Jersey City, but again, we have to do it to where it makes sense. And I also have an idea of utilizing the crossing guards to get people who are violating because you know why? Most of those violations happen during the morning time, during the school time. So if even if we can get them with body cams and they can capture some of these vehicles that are making these violations and we could send them summonses just to let them know, like, hey, we're not playing with you.
Yeah.
We're not playing with you because at the end of the day, the safety of the residents and the pedestrians that we have out here is more important. Our seniors got to be able to get across the street. Our babies got to be able to cross the street. Heck, I'm right in the middle. I got a senior as a parent and I got a little. My child is 4. So it's just like yeah, I'm for the street safety and harping on these terrible drivers who are just doing whatever, driving up one ways and all this other stuff. And me as a police officer, I catch anybody who's doing that. Trust me, there is no zero tolerance for me.
Okay, so to tackle on top of that question, I was going towards the direction of this. I just needed to know your stance on that. So
Hmm.
it seems that a lot of people are coming for the vehicle owners, but I feel as though, from what I see, that there's blame to go around for everybody. We
Absolutely.
have vehicles that are driving crazy. We have the people who don't care whether the light is red or green
Just walking.
as them.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have the e-bikes.
So one of the things I think is on my website, I actually covered that I would make sure that information about safety is spread all around. We are all responsible for our safety out here, meaning the cyclists, the pedestrians, the drivers, whoever is out here operating on the roadway, crossing the roadway, you are responsible for your safety. So one area that I've identified that, some people may not have thought about, to where I'm like, some people may not know how to cross the street. Jersey City is very diverse. It may seem like it's a funny topic, like who doesn't know how to cross the street? You should stop at the corner. But when you think about it, some people are coming from places where they didn't have to cross the street like that. They didn't have to stop at a crosswalk and then wait for it safe to go to cross the street. So there's an area of educating the people. So having campaigns, collaborating with the schools to get that information out to the people. Just hosting events on a city scale to promote safety amongst the residents so that they can become more aware and we can kind of change the culture here, because I'm not against vehicles. I'm sorry. I drive a car. I like driving my car. I roller skate sometimes too. So it's just like I understand from all angles. There's no pointing the blame about, oh, well, the vehicles are at blame, or, the bicycles are at blame. We need to all be responsible for our own safety here. And one of the things that I intend to do is make sure that I host safety events and collaborate with these organizations and these schools, just so that our children are versed on safety as well. So yeah, I'm all even across the board when it comes down to safety.
Okay, so to tackle back on crime, so I'm sure we both know there's a lot of drug traffic in the Greenville section of Jersey City. In the past, there's been very big bust. I'm pretty sure about 3 years ago, they found a house with about a couple million in cash, a couple million in merchandise, hundred thousands of dollars, couple hundred up, all the way up to $1 million. This is a lot of money. So at the end of the day, you know, I just said this to Bill O'Dia. Listen, I'm very open and honest. The officers, when they make these busts, they take some of that money. And I told Bill O'Dia, at this point, I don't even care. I don't even care. But is there any way, and I'm saying I don't care because a lot of, you know, things that should be happening is going to happen anyway. But is there any way that a percentage of what is found can go back into the neighborhood that it was found in and reinvest in that money to turn something bad good? You know, it could go back into a program to pay kids to clean the neighborhood. It can go back into the youth programs to teach them about financial literacy. Is there any way we can get some of that money? Bill O'Dia did mention that some of it does come back to the city, but he's pretty sure not the percentage that it's supposed to. Is there
Right.
any way we can get a good
To
percentage with
be
that?
to be honest, I would have to get back to you on that because I'm not aware of any type of money that's from drug busts coming back to the city. From my standpoint as a police officer, that money gets put into evidence, as far as it being like quote unquote petty cash to be, used at the will of the city. I'm not bursting that. And I don't want to, give you an answer because you have me on the spot and not be like legit about it. I would have to really look into
That's
how,
100% fair. You're not the
yeah,
first person to say that. You're not
yeah,
the
I
first
would
person
have
to
to
say
look
that.
into that because
Yeah,
I'm not aware of any, because based upon my experiences, any cash that's collected, it goes into evidence and it sits into evidence. As far as where it goes after evidence, I'm not sure. I don't know whether the state comes and pick it up and redistributes it, or, there's some other processes, whether it goes directly, whether it gets clearance to where the city can utilize it for something. I'm not really versed in that space. So I would have to really get back to you on that answer.
no problem. So as far as the rent, there's a lot of prices that doesn't make sense for what they're
Mhm.
charging people. Are you somebody who believes on like rent stabilization and bringing that price back down to make it fair for the resident?
Well, the rents are according to the state. The state determines what the market value rate is going for. as far as price gouging or charging 3 times the rent, for moving into a space. I'm into enforcing that to where it's like you shouldn't have to make 3 times the income to move into a space, because for me, that triggers to me that's a form of redlining. So you're trying to weed out a certain demographics or a certain income level of people so that you can get more affluent people into your space. So I'm for enforcing those rules in terms of the gouging, but as far as the starting rents prices, it's not really much that can be done about that. And anybody who tells you that it can are lying. Just because we don't determine that. The only thing we can determine is what we create as a city.
So education is something that's very important. Like I said to all mayoral candidates, we both know, I'm 23 years old, but at this point, somebody who's younger than me is going to be more important than me pretty soon. It's all about the youth. It's always about the next person up. We don't really get to have a say in it. That's just how the world works.
We
They're
do have,
always next. They're always no. I'm saying as far as the next generation being up, they will
yeah,
always be the next big thing. Is
right.
there any way we can incorporate some type of skilled based programs in the Jersey City public school system? And if not, can we build outside programs? Because if you look at what's going on today, college, sadly, which is really sad, a lot of kids are paying a lot of money working so hard to go to the college for nothing. In this day and age, it is a very few amount of degrees that is profitable. And on top of that, we have AI taking all the jobs.
Right.
Skills, you're always going to make money with a skill job. For a woman, she learns how to do hair. A man know how to build a house. Is there any way we could bring that back to the city?
Skills pay the bills.
Yes.
I'm a firm believer in that because I have a few skills under my belt outside of what I do as a police officer.
Okay.
Um, in terms of the public schools, there are some schools that have these, what are they called? I can't think of the name that they're called. They have programs
Like the
with the
electives.
electives.
Okay.
Uh, So they have them in some of the schools. However, we can develop them even more because, again, the public school is its own entity. So we as a city have an obligation, or we should support the public schools, being that these youths are in our community and what they do in school will reflect what they do in the community and then also at home. So an idea that I have is collaborating with the public schools, having them open up their labs, their gyms, and whatever other spaces that they have in there to students, and then also organizations, mentors, trades personnel to come into these schools and show these kids what to do after school. Now, again, I'm all about the root cause. So now these kids are out of school. Guess what? They're learning something. They're not on the street. They're not causing problems. We make it even feed them before they go home. At least we know they fed, they love, they're supported, and they're going home. And guess what? They're energized and excited about coming to school tomorrow because guess what? I got to finish out this project that I'm working in after school. So it's like it can be done and it's something that I'm for. I'm very supportive of the youth and making sure that they have the tools that's needed for them to be able to survive and thrive out here because I didn't have the opportunity to go to school directly after finish secondary school directly after high school. So I had to I had to learn quick, and please say I'm sorry, my toddler. Here,
Sorry.
take this. Yes, go ahead. Um, so yes, I'm for bringing in these organizations, and then also these organizations need support. The PAL program, I talk about them a lot because I'm a product of the PAL. If it
Me
was,
too.
are you?
PAL
Uh,
football, that PAL program was great.
and this is what I mean. So when you have organizations that's out here that's doing the work, I want to be able to support them to the max because they're really out here doing the work for the community. They're really out here doing the work for the community. So, even resources for them for grant writing so that they can get some more money. Um, it's even been an idea of helping them to create housing. Like they have the ability to do that and there's funding that's out there for them. So it's just like if I can help them as a city, they're helping me because they're helping the youth and the youth are going to be out here surviving and thriving. And then also on a city level, when we get like contracts for different things, guess what? We can go directly within these schools and say, "Hey, we need 10 people to come work on this project of painting, this corridor or whatever the case may be." And it's less expense to the city. And then it also gives a sense of pride to the youth to where they understand like you are a part of this city. You are a part of the programs. Like you are important. And I try to elaborate this or express this to the youth when I come across them because I really love my young people because it's just like y'all are hope. Like you're 23. I have a nephew your age and he's off at school right now. He's matter of fact, no, excuse me. He graduated from school. He went to Maritime. And I'm so proud of him. He's an eco engineer.
Wow.
Like we ain't got that in our family. So it's just
That
like,
sound important.
so it's just like
Yeah.
any way that I can uplift our youth and just make sure that they get that hands-on training and get that mentorship because that those mentors go a long way. They they get you into spaces that you wouldn't usually be able to get into. So absolutely doing whatever it is for the youth. Y'all got it. Like I love my young people. I really do. And by the way, I got 11 nieces and nephews.
Oh wow.
I've been doing this a while. Yeah.
I can't sit here and say that you don't know because you do know because you're from this section. But that
Right.
investment to the PAL,
Yeah, no, it's one of my organizations that's on my priority in addition to the Bless organization, in addition to the Grace's organization. She's down in the Heights. She does math with the kids. Like there's there's people that's out here that's doing the work and I see them. Like trust me, I see them.
so I have a few more questions for you. I'm not going to hold you too long.
Mhm.
Give us three things that Miss Freeman is pushing for as mayor of Jersey City. If you win a position, what's the three things that you're really pushing for and you want to get done and see changing?
Youth services and programs, affordable housing, and public safety. And I think we covered the bases on all those topics tonight. It's something that's near and dear to me. I've had on the public safety side, just to just elaborate a little bit more. I've seen it from both sides as a police officer and then also before being a police officer as a civilian, just growing up through Jersey City and seeing the need for just the help and the need for collaboration. I'm not against having committees that work alongside with the police department to pretty much know what areas to improve in. I'm for doing a complete audit of the police department just to see what systems are working, what are not working, what can we integrate to improve the police department. For the most part, my colleagues are great, you know. Do we need help in areas like mental health? Yes. Yes, we see a lot. We deal with a lot. So that's another area in the public safety sector that I want to make sure that not just our police officers, but our firefighters. Nobody ever thinks about the firefighters and what they see.
Yeah.
Like that's horrific. So it's just like being able to support them and then also being able to support the community in a way that we all can just thrive as a people, just on a human basis, and then also just leveling up in our careers and the things that we want to contribute to society. So Public safety is another big one for me, and another thing, I don't want to see another uh December 10th situation here to where we don't have the resources. So training is another area that's of importance. Getting the manpower within the departments collectively to reflect that of the community. The 911 system. Trust me, I know I've had to call my own system for backup or something that I needed that was going on, an emergency that was going on in my own family, and I had to wait. So it's just like, we got to do a lot better. I'm
Yeah.
aware of the issues, especially the everyday people issues, because I am still, yes, I'm a private citizen, but I still go through the everyday people issues because I live right here in Jersey City.
So, to piggyback on what I was saying before, Stephen Fulop has completely disassociated himself with the Greenville section of Jersey City.
Hmm.
What are your plans to stay engaged and communicate with everybody around the city so we know that you actually care and you're involved and you want to listen to what we have to say? Do you have any plans for that?
Well, I would be available. My number isn't changing. I have a line that's specifically for the people that I have recently met within travels to where they can communicate with me. One, my line is not going to change. You're not going to get an assistant that's answering the line. You're going to get the mayor that's on the line that's like, hey, what's going on? Or even if it's something that I can't respond to right away, I'm going to shoot a text. Just having regular just engagement events. The Greenville section, I have such a great vision for the Greenville section. We have an arts community that's here that's going through the same and similar issues as the Greenville section, in terms of affordable housing and just having places where they can just express themselves. I think that the Greenville section is a great space because one, who doesn't love to see beautiful art, not only art, performances, um, just to be able to uplift like that energy, visually, we can uplift our community visually. And the arts has a really good way of just bringing the best or bringing attention to causes. So, I plan on being readily available in the Greenville section. The public safety building is there, the City Hall Annex is there. I will be at the City Hall Annex, like I'm not that far where I live at in the city now. I'm closer to Lincoln Park, but I'm not that far from Greenville. It's nothing for me to walk, you know, granted that the weather is okay. Make sure the weather is okay, to either walk to work or even I may even start back rollerblading through the city. Who knows? But
Yeah.
I want the people of the Greenville section to know that with Mayor Freeman, you are not forgotten and you are my priority. And I give you my word with that. I grew up on Dwight Street. They not gonna let me live down on that, like my blessed community, the PS15, they not gonna let me live down on that. So at the end of the day, I have an obligation to the community and I respect it because they have supported me through my campaign and they have just supported me just throughout my life. They watched me grow up. The seniors over there, they ain't about to play with me over there. You feel me?
Uh-huh.
Like I'm not gonna play with my Greenville section. I love the Greenville area. And again, I will make it my business to be available and readily available to the Greenville section.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. I have to say this. This isn't anything against you, but I have to say it because I told everybody else this.
Mhm.
This is what every time I say I'm interviewing a mayor candidate, I say, of course, you guys are gonna give me the smile, the face, and the thumbs up, and tell me what I want to hear, and pin it to what I hear, because it's voting time, and could be lying. I hope you're not. I just had to say that. I just had to say that because I said it to everybody else. I have to
No,
say that.
everything that I have, I don't have people writing my scripts. Okay? All my posts are my genuine posts, okay? this little banner in the back here, I created that. Okay, so all of my thoughts and all of my ideas are genuine. And I all I can ask is for the people to really like just look into me. Go ask about me. Don't just don't just see me and be like, oh, no, go ask about me. Go ask some people that's from my area that I grew up in that I may not have seen in years about me. The person that you see before you today is the person that I've always been in life. I've always stuck to my guns. I mean what I say, and I get it done by every means necessary. I get it done. So no, my intentions is not to sit up here and smile and please vote for me. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the people. I'm from the people. I want you to know that I am you. I am you. We are not far removed. So that's all I have to say to that.
First of all, thank you so much for speaking to me and coming on here. I really appreciate that. We got
No
to
problem.
hear from Miss Freeman. We got to see Miss Freeman be a mother while working, right? So shout out to Miss Freeman. She doing multiple things at once. It's hard with
Most
a toddler. It's
yes,
hard with a toddler at that age.
yes,
They
yes. They want what they want,
uh
like,
huh.
mommy, can you open this? Just like, you don't see me on this man.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I wish you luck.
Thank you.
I'm gonna post these clips. We're
Thank
gonna see what the people have to say. I will say this. You're the only person I have interviewed who really highlighted the Greenville section. And that should stick out to anybody who lives here.
Yep, yep. And I'm gonna say thank you to you because I watch you out here.
Thank you.
I'm like your online auntie. I be paping what you be doing out here, and I saw that you gave back to the community. Was that last month?
Yeah.
And I tried to get up with you, but I didn't realize. I'm thinking, I'm in my old school ways. Down Bayside Park for me ain't Bayside Park for y'all. So Bayside Park for me is on by the light rail station. You know,
Yeah.
but that's so I went on that side and I'm like, well, did he leave? What I'm like, I don't know. And then somebody was like, no, he was on the other side. I was like, nah, we ain't never called that part no Bayside part. So now
Yeah.
I know you taught me something new, but thank you so much for having a heart for the people. Just keep doing the work. And again, whether I make mayor or not, I'm accessible, I'm available to you. However, I can support you in your endeavors or your projects or anything that you want to do with the community and collaboration. I'm more than happy to help you with that.
So we were gonna do it down, but I'm like, wait a minute, I want more people to see it as they walking past. So I moved it up.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this, excuse some of my language that I'm saying on some of my videos because you be watching. I gotta get people to laugh a little bit so they engage. All right, that's
Hey,
it. Excuse me,
you
excuse me.
okay? Just be who you are and continue to do the work that you are. You're on the right path in life, and may doors open up for you in abundance.
Miss Freeman, thank you so much.
No
Have a
problem.
great night.
You too. Good night.